Alrighty, let's get over to this. All right, slideshow. Okay, let's start. What is it like being an entrepreneur? By Nick Rogers. Why entrepreneurs why entrepreneurs are good for the economy. When being an entrepreneur, you bring a lot of jobs to the market for whatever product or service their business is providing. So more entrepreneurs brings more competition to the market, and a lot of the time entrepreneurs are trading globally, encouraging global trade, encouraging also, last but not least, encouraging innovation. So let me break it down. When there are more entrepreneurs coming in and want to make their product or make their service, they need employees, they need people to advertise, they need people to maybe make their product. So they're giving more jobs to people. More competition. Entrepreneurs are making products that are most of the time are already a thing. So in doing that, there's going to be more competition because more and more companies doing the same thing creates competition, which is good for the economy. Um, and most of the time, entrepreneurs creating businesses will try to expand as much as they possibly can. And if it's a product, they'll sell it globally to other countries. If it's a service, hopefully then they can make their service big enough to the point where they can bring it bring it around the world. And entrepreneurs constantly have to innovate and change and adapt to make sure that they are just staying up with the times. It's very important. Being an entrepreneur is very hard. People don't expect it to be as hard as it is. One of the hardest things about being an entrepreneur and starting your own business is how much time and effort you have to put into it. When a business is at its beginning stage, entrepreneurs have to spend, and most of the time do spend, over 60 hours a week just to keep it going, just to get it started. And like you can see this guy right here, there's a lot of strain on him. He's very stressed out, and it's a lot. And it is important to know that you have the stamina and you have the resilience and the ability to get over being tired, being exhausted, and just getting it done. Because whether you're doing it or not determines if your business is going to continue to grow and just not fail, to be honest. Startup businesses and the stresses that come with them, reasons that they fail. I'm gonna go. A couple of these next slides are gonna be all about how much failure there is. I'm sorry, we're gonna get negative, but I'm trying to show you guys how hard it is to be an entrepreneur. To begin with, 90% of all small businesses fail, just businesses in general. There are many reasons why businesses fail. 29% is because companies just run out of money. Money doesn't grow on trees, and it's easy to run out of money. 42% no need. There's no need for whatever that product or service may be in the market nowadays. So like, I don't know, it could be a car company and nobody needs a car. I'm just using this as an example. And so this new car company comes in and no one wants to buy it because they already have their car. It's just kind of a stupid example, but it works. Another thing that makes a lot of companies struggle is bad marketing and not having the proper team and connections to make things happen. Marketing and is gonna make or break your business, and without marketing, you have nothing. And connections is very helpful in that too. Uh, you must have a clear path as to what you want the company to be. Um, See that this guy here is he has this clear path and he's gonna succeed in his business. And there's all these zigzags because there's a lot of paths you can take that won't lead you down the right way. You should know a baseline as to what you want to build, and don't invest all your money and dump it into like the first idea because a lot of times it's gonna fail. So you want to just take your time, be careful, and do it the right way. Don't get ahead of yourself. Adapting with the times to survive. This is another very important thing, like I mentioned at the beginning, making sure you're adapting and figuring out ways as this economy moves on. People tend to get very passionate about their company and don't want to make changes because this company is their baby, or they don't want to make changes because this is how they did it and they think that's the only way it's going to work. This is something that's going to stop your company from succeeding and being profitable. And being profitable is what all entrepreneurship is about. Adapting to the times is crucial for any company to stay alive and be profitable. If you have a company for strictly personal reasons, then you're more than likely not to fail. Your number one priority should be to continue to grow and be profitable. Back to the marketing, because marketing truly is the biggest part of success in any business. 14% of businesses fail strictly because of bad marketing. It doesn't matter how good the product or service is, if you're not selling it with good marketing, it's just it's not gonna work. Being able to market yourself and market your product or service is important to set yourself apart from other companies and show people that they need to buy your product or service. When trying to market your product, one of the most important things to note is what audience you're trying to reach. So if you're trying to reach kids, like you got to make it colorful and fun and attractive. If you don't have the right audience, then there's a good chance you're probably going to fail. I think here this Coca-Cola ad is a great example of good marketing because at one point it shows right there they all had their own names. And at one point I remember going into the gas station and seeing my name and I was like, "Hey mom, hey dad, I need to get this Coke. It has my name on." And so like that's a very, very good marketing trick that I saw on Coca-Cola. Bad timing. Another thing about failure in a business. Getting into certain niches at the wrong time can be detrimental to your business. Along with certain niches, bad timing as well. The price of your product, we'll get more into this in the next couple slides, but the important thing is the price of the product or service can have a strong effect. But right now we're going to just talk about the bad timing. If you launch a product that is a trend at the moment, and by the time your company actually is able to launch the product, the trend is starting to fizzle out, then it's not going to end too well. Right here is an example of silly bands. Silly bands are the biggest trend. People were buying them left and right. This company made, I think, like literally billions of dollars. But if I were to make this company right now and copied the exact same thing, then like I would definitely, most definitely not make the billions of dollars because it's out of trend. This is just something that it's a trend. Trends come and go, and if you have to get lucky almost to be in a certain trend. You can have an amazing idea, but due to bad timing, it can easily fail. Legal issues. Proper licensing is required to run a business, and if you don't have proper licensing, the government will come for you, and the government will make sure you have proper documentation. If they don't, they will put your business down under. Small businesses tend to be unprepared, and sometimes not educated enough to know what all is necessary to maintain legality. So, a lot of people just want to start their own coffee shop or start their little store, whatever it may be, and they're not exactly too educated onto what you need, and that can cause problems. So you got to be educated and know exactly what it is you need to stay out of trouble and do things the right way. How your Now we're moving on to the price. How your price affects your future. If the price is too high, people don't want to buy it from you and they'll go somewhere else because they can find somewhere else that's cheaper and similar product. If your price is too low, businesses will not be profitable. If you're not putting the price up high enough and not enough people are buying it, you won't be profitable. And also people will think that your product or service is not up to par with quality. And maybe they want to move up to something that is maybe a little bit more expensive, even though it might be the same thing, but because it's more expensive, they might think it is a little bit better quality. So you got to find the perfect median to secure profits and make sure you have people. And then I put supreme here on the other side, and I said exception because sometimes there's companies like this that are a crazy trend that not the quality is not necessarily the best. And if this hoodie was priced at $50 per se, like a regular hoodie, people probably wouldn't buy it. But because of this trend and because this hoodie is probably worth 500 to $1,000 just for no reason besides the trend, people now want to buy it because they feel like this is the best thing and this is the trend and you're going to look cool. So there are certain exceptions and some weird things can happen in this economy and with certain companies, but usually that is not the case. But I thought that was an interesting thing to add. Back to taxes, back to the proper documentation. It is very important to get taxes properly done in order to stay out of trouble with the government. Taxes can be confusing and hard sometimes, and if you don't do them properly for a business, there can be complications, and the government can audit these businesses easily, and some of these small businesses will go bankrupt and have problems and not be able to survive. Lack of organization. A huge part of business and growing and starting your business is organization. Lack of planning out a business instead of taking your time on it can be detrimental to a company's health. Winging it not only the is not the best way of starting a business and will most likely lead to failure. There's a lot that comes with starting a business and a lot of hours of preparation and hard work necessary to do it the right way to heighten your chances of success. Time and preparation equals success. If you're going to look like this girl over here to the right, you're most likely going to fail. Now, okay, let's move on to less negative things. Uh, what you can do for success. One of the most important things business owners need to do to succeed is listen to customer feedback. Listening to customers and adapting to what people are wanting is the best thing you can do. Like I say right down here, your most valuable tool is your customers. Your customers want you to change something or think that you'll do way better with doing this a certain way. Listen to your customers. The next thing for success is standing out. See this red guy down here, he stands out. There's thousands of people in this line, but he's the one that takes the chance and he's standing out and he looks different from everybody and he's very intriguing. With being an entrepreneur comes a lot of competition, and because of that, you need to advertise and show what makes you stand out from other companies. And you got to make it known that you are the best of whatever product or service that you are trying to provide. If your company does not stand out and does not have something special compared to any other company, you give customers no reason to buy your product or service over any other company, and your company will most likely struggle. Being intrigued, or sorry, excuse me, unique equals intriguing and attractive. Be different, be special, and people will come to your company and use your product. Now we're talking about the funds to start a company. Majority of entrepreneurs are self-funded, 80%, around 80%. It can be very difficult to find money and investors to invest in the idea of your company. And because of this, a lot of entrepreneurs use their own money and invest in themselves. This can come with a lot of risk because the odds are against you, and all the money invested can just go to waste. Being an entrepreneur is all about high risk and high reward. And that is it. Thank you.